The Treb period, as we called it, lasted a very long time. And then the graphing calculator. Complete joy for a math geek. I bought this used on eBay. Turned out it was stolen. Somebody stole 25 of them from high school. Other boys were playing Super Mario Brothers, Nintendo, Game Boys, but mine was sitting with his calculator, running equations, prime numbers, parabolas, factorial sets. He took it everywhere. In fact, he still does. The only reason I have it here is that it fell out of his pocket in the car and he didn't notice, probably because he has so many other things in his pockets. He took the calculator everywhere, and he still does, the calc. And then, after all this, he was 15 years old. A sterling student, straight A's, taking advanced and honors classes in calculus and geometry and English and computer science. He had already been to college classes. His junior high school algebra teacher said to me, "In 30 years of this, I have never had such a gifted student. He goes places I just can't imagine. His brain is a computer," as if I didn't know. And at 15, he was no longer fussy about eating. He had no problems with clothing, or sleep, or head-butting, or face-licking, or hand-twirling. And he was 100% happy. He had decided at age 13 that he would never be unhappy or worried again, because it was bad for your health and shortened your lifespan. I have yet to see him backslide on the promise he made that spring day. He resolved to be happy, and he is, unfailingly so. He knows the date and the time he made that decision, and he doesn't understand why others can't decide the same thing for themselves. After all, it's just logical. Oh yeah, and he still has an obsession. He still has a great love affair, a grand love affair, and it's bowling. He'd been introduced to bowling years earlier, maybe when he was about 5, but at that stage, he was interested only in the ball return and spinning the balls in the rack. He didn't care about aiming at the pins or totaling his score. He was oblivious to other people, of course. But in high school, we told him he needed an activity, and no one signed up for his first choice, which was disc golf, something at which he was really, really good, or his second choice, table tennis. So he signed up for bowling. At first he bowled very badly, releasing the ball so it spun backward rather than forward. Eventually, he learned to roll it in the right direction with the right rotation, but in that first year, he decided he needed more power, and he had seen, during obsessive video watching on YouTube, someone rolling a ball without putting a thumb into it, and he tried that, along with a two-handed backswing. He experimented constantly. His first ball was a relic from the 1950s. It was actually a Loyal Order of the Moose glittery red ball he found in one of his classrooms, and the teacher let him keep it. He's used at least a dozen different balls since then, and none of them has cost more than $4.99. They're all used, and most are free. His mom shops at Goodwill, and some of the bowling alley employees give him house balls to keep. He spent many days drilling holes in one of them and filling the holes with tiny bullets and resin to alter the mass. This is not it, but this will just give you an idea of how funky his bowling balls look. I don't even know which one this is. He has so many. So, now he's a bowler. And he's a really good bowler. He won the first tournament he entered. He bowled a 299 earlier this year. For those of you who don't know bowling, that's only one pin off perfect. And yes, he's in love. He's obsessed. He thinks about bowling a lot. He knows everything about the pins, the oil patterns, the history, the ball composition, the rotation, the revolutions, the odds, and exactly what transpires when the pins move around down there, angle to angle, wall to wall. He practices in my living room. He bowls on the gravel driveway. He bowls at bowling alleys every chance he gets. In fact, as I'm taping this, he's in a tournament. He takes his bowling balls to school and on the city bus. When he can't bowl with his right hand, because for a while his wrist was injured, he used his left hand. He trained himself to bowl with his non-dominant hand, and he's already bowled a 279 with that hand. But of course there are non-autistic kids who are in love with particular sports, so now he doesn't seem atypical. And now there are payoffs. and not just social ones. No one offers scholarship money for lens spinning, chain twirling, hooting, face licking, wrist rotating, or yo-yo dragging, but there is actual financial compensation for bowling. He's still an exceptional student. He's still happy all the time. And he turned 18 last month. My message to you, all you terrified, worried, sleepless parents, caregivers, family members, is just to abide. Hang in there. Don't be passive. Don't be afraid. Be as creative as you can possibly be. Be patient. See what happens. Participate. And let them, within reason,